Students, welcome to the recordings of the words for this week. So, for English 3, the first word this week is the word challenge. And this is the sentence that you would copy if you were making cards in a normal quarter in the classroom. The sentence to copy is: Poets in Shakespeare's time felt that writing a sonnet with the correct form and structure was an intellectual and artistic challenge. And so, what is a challenge? So a challenge, sorry about that, is a challenge is, here are the definitions. In this case, that one that you had in the last sentence was definition 1, and it says a new or difficult task that tests somebody's ability and skill. So I remember I talked about this when I was teaching English 1. We talked about connotation. I don't know if you remember that from English 1. So the feeling that you get with the word. So I would say that there are two words, challenge and problem. They could refer to the same situation, but challenge is like seeing a problem in a positive way, because it's a difficult task, but what's good about it is that it tests your ability and your skill, and it lets you show what you can do. It gives you the ability to show the world that you can do something difficult or something challenging. Like, for example, when we talk about the senior speeches, we always tell students this is a challenge and you should accept that challenge, because it's difficult, but because it tests your ability, you'll be able to prove that you can do something difficult, and that's a good thing. That is reto in Spanish. And then definition 2. Definition 2 is an invitation or a suggestion to somebody that they should enter a competition, fight, etc. So that's related, but that's when somebody says to another person, or a group of people say to another person, I'm going to fight against you and I'm going to win. Either physically fight or a competition, a sports game, something like that. So when one person says to somebody else, you should enter the competition and fight against me, and I'm going to beat you, usually that's what it is. And then definition 3 is to question. Definition 3 is a verb, and that is to question whether a statement or an action is right, legal, etc., or to refuse to accept something. I should also say, I don't think there's room for it on the card, but definition 2 can be a verb too, because when a person challenges another person to a fight or something. So a challenge is when the noun is like if somebody says another person should fight them. That can also be a verb. I challenge you to a fight, right? I challenge you to a soccer game. My team is better than your team. That's a verb. That's basically a verb form of definition 2. So definition 2 is an invitation or a suggestion to enter a competition or fight. So a fourth definition that's not on this card would be a verb of that, which would be like to invite or suggest, would be what it would be to somebody that they should enter a competition, fight, etc. So in the if we look at the Spanish here, it says reto as a noun, retar or desafiar as verbs, and then word families: challenged as an adjective, like the challenged person. Challenger is a person who is challenging. That's like in the idea of like definition 2, to make a challenge against somebody else. A challenger, like you talk about it a lot in sports. The challenger, or like, I don't know, boxing. There's a challenger is trying to prove that somebody is not the best boxer. So somebody else says, I challenge you. That person who did that, trying to defeat the person who is on the top, is the challenger. And then challenging as an adjective, that is a synonym for difficult. Synonyms for challenge, it says question or dare. Those are synonyms for only question 3. Only definition 3, I mean. Only definition 3. They're not synonyms for any of the other definitions. This one is more information about definition 1. I'm sorry that I tried to get it lined up, but the very top got chopped off. But you already saw the definition on the previous slide. Sorry about that. It's a new or difficult task that tests somebody's ability and skill. And so this is an example of that. I don't know if you guys have heard of these. a Spartan run or like a mud run. There are these races where it's not just a race because you're racing, but you also have to go through obstacles. Like right here, these runners have to go and dive in the mud and then climb out, or they have to go under these wires that shock them with electric shocks. They have all kinds of crazy things they have to do. So it's a challenge. It's a new and difficult task if somebody does a run like that, because here it says because the obstacles, there's an obstacle, un obstáculo, are difficult to overcome. Okay, definition 2, more information. So apparently, I can't quite see exactly what this woman is doing, but um, maybe somebody younger who knows more about the internet would be able to tell me what this actually is. But maybe she shaved part of her head, but she's also getting hit with something. Anyway, so the definition is an invitation or suggestion to somebody that they should enter a competition, fight, etc. So this is something that people do online, an online challenge. There's a new online challenge which dares people to do silly things. So that's like people online will say, I can do this, and I bet you can't do it. And it's like, can you compete with me and do it better? And then they'll also go on and post a video of them doing the same silly thing, and it's a challenge, an invitation to enter into a competition or fight or something like that. And then the third definition, it says to question whether a statement or an action is right or legal. So for example, so it says here a new bill is like a proposed law. You guys should know that from Ms. Donner's class. Challenges the current healthcare laws. So like right now, the law is still Obamacare, although it is weaker than it used to be. But like Republicans are challenging that, and they want to change that law. That's an example. Or Obamacare challenged other laws that were before that, maybe. So that's what challenge is. And that's about it for the word challenge for the video. Yeah, I went over all the word families and the Spanish translations. Thank you very much for watching, and go ahead and after this video, you can write your sentence. Oh, sorry.